Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, so the question is whether or not Donald J. Trump is the Antichrist. I have a lot of people who ask me my opinions on that. And I really try to not label anything. So I won't be using the terms antichrist. However, prophecy has it. I believe it's like the 45th president that is supposed to be the quote unquote antichrist. And in this case, it was Donald Trump. I believe it was 45th, and I've gotta I want to do a little bit more research on the if that was who prophesied that, because there was a specific number, and I know that it was going back and forth between Barack Obama and then Donald Trump. But I do believe it is the 45th president that they labeled as being the Antichrist. And I know personally I ignored it because the first go around with Donald Trump, in my opinion, was a good go around, despite the different political aspects that it happened. Um, With that being said, I do believe that Trump is the president to kind of bridge the new world with the old world. So the old world with the new world. And what I mean by that is you guys know that AI is like a big deal right now. Cryptocurrency will become bigger than what it is right now. You have a lot of things changing. America's position in the world is really changing. You have talks of a mandatory draft for men who are between the ages of 18 and 26 or 7. There's a lot of things happening right now that really can, and I say can because hasn't quite happened yet, but trajectory shows that it can really shake up the everyday average American, our everyday way of life. AI is a big thing that we've seen being ushered in and really fought for by this president. And I don't know about you guys, but if you guys, I have Meta glasses. I have both the Gen 2s. I've got the Gen 2s, and I've got the display glasses. And we thought the Gen 2s, when they had first come out, those were dope, right? But if you guys have not gotten the chance to do even a demo for the Meta displays, I would suggest that you do it. The reason why I say this is because right now with AI, the technology is really able to do some pretty cool stuff. And as you guys know, with technology, if they're rolling it out to us, that means that they've had it for quite some time. So the technology, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to be fair and let this car in, but you don't want to drive like you try to go. Sorry. So with the technology and everything, kind of like those glasses remind me of like Mission Impossible kind of deal, right? Where right now I know there's been talks of being able to see people's ID, identify people. If you guys ever seen the movie Black Mirror, where the girl is dealing with like a social credit situation, and they're always able to see things in front of them, like kind of like if it were on a screen in front of them, but it's supposed to be kind of like virtual kind of deal. The glasses very much, I mean, you're able to see your screen. I'm able to take a picture and see the picture in the glasses. I'm able to see my phone, essentially, certain things, not everything yet, but certain features of my phone. If somebody calls me, I can see that they're calling via my glasses. And so the reason why I say that is, with AI and with this president supporting AI, that is going to do some interesting stuff to how we live. I would say within 10 years, we're going to see some really interesting things that we pretty much only thought we'd be able to see in 007 or the Jetsons or something crazy like that. And that even the glasses, just the glasses, as limited as they are right now, they're causing a lot of uproar with people, and their feelings of privacy and all this extra nonsense that, I mean, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. So I think that this president, being that he does support AI, and the advancement of AI, and has chosen to invest in AI, really says a lot about, what he's capable of doing. Okay. Another thing, cryptocurrency, with the declining, the dollar declining, and this president being willing to take on cryptocurrency, investing in cryptocurrency, that says a lot too, because it would change the way in which we, look at money, the way in which we pay for things. One of the things I was saying with the meta glasses is the new ones that they just rolled out has a band that comes with it that you wear around your wrist. And the band I don't know what the technology is, but anytime I move my thumb or any finger that, it's supposed to relate to, it knows when it moved. It knows when I touch my phone. It knows when I'm tapping my fingers together. It knows when I'm writing. So if I just write in the air, it writes out on my phone exactly what I'm trying to write. Which is kind of cool, but it's also kind of creepy, in the sense that when you guys see these movies, these apocalyptic movies and stuff like that, a lot of times you'll see these people in these movies with these wristbands, and that's how they're able to get around. That's how they're able to pay for things. That's how they're able to communicate. And when I'm looking at this wristband, though I can't use it to pay for anything right now, that's not, I don't think that would be complicated technology to kind of utilize. I don't think that it would be difficult to make that wristband something that you would just do a tap to pay with, stuff like that. So I easily see how, with cryptocurrency, that things could get real pretty quick. Okay. If you guys have seen movies like Squid Games, or the TV show Squid Games, Black Mirror, stuff like that, you guys know that there is a possibility for these types of situations to occur. Or to, kind of come as what? Go. Fuck. The bus is in its goddamn lane. What are you sitting there holding up everybody for? Don't make no damn sense. I'm sorry, y'all. But so anyway, so there's a lot of things happening right now where I definitely see Trump bridging that gap, between the old world and the new world. I do not believe, I do believe that Trump is there to open the door, But I do believe that someone else is meant to walk through, and I do believe that that person will be a JD Vance. Now with JD Vance, given the things that he's stated out of his mouth, given, you know, the things that I see in terms of his appearance, how he carries himself, I think we're in for a really interesting ride. I think the problem with Trump's, you know, kind of presidency is it has opened the door for a weaker type of male to kind of come into these spaces as it relates to the presidency. And I am not a fan of JD Vance. There's nothing that would ever get me to really flat out just support a JD Vance. But because JD Vance is the vice president, we have opened that door for him to kind of come through there and do God knows what um, with the sorry y'all, I'm trying to focus on driving for a second, but God knows what with the power that he holds, right? And that he will hold as Trump, you know, kind of phases out his term. The thing about this is, and I've always said, and my biggest thing was I was not voting because with the absolutes that we were being taught, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is a fact. And so when you have someone that is saying things, whether I agree with it or not, is irrelevant. I don't get this, man. When you have people who are, you know, making definite demands, so statements, right? You had Trump stating, hey, we're going to get rid of all the illegals and all of this stuff. And it's like, okay, on one hand, like I said, I agreed. I was not comfortable with that, the wave, excuse me, the wave of Venezuelans that were out here kind of trying to clean windows. Like I personally wasn't comfortable with certain things. However, and let me be clear, because of me living in a state where you have a large population of illegal immigrants, I definitely would like to have seen the day, you know, that occurred, especially knowing that they were getting all these benefits and all of these things. It just, like I said, it was rubbing me the wrong way, considering that Americans have their own issues. And I really believe that our politicians should be working hard to really help the American people. Before we help a person from another country. I still hold that belief. However, I'm not foolish, right? I know that with that kind of statement, right? The statement that we're going to get rid of certain things and people and all this extra stuff, right? In my mind, in order for a person to do that, and do it right and justly, right? You have to have a level of integrity. When we're dealing with the issues in this country, racism being a big one, right? It is not guaranteed that you're dealing with people who are not racist, who do not look at skin color and move and are motivated by skin color. Okay. And so the problem with that is now you hear about the ICE agents that are, you know, harming children in some of these spaces, taking advantage of their power. Well, a lot of these folks were hired and they look down on these people instead of, it is what it is. And they do things as a result of looking down, of not having integrity, of thinking nobody is watching, stuff like that. So this presidency has really opened the door for men, and I will repeat it again, males, predominantly men, to show their goddamn ass. So when you have another country, Iran, right, sitting here mocking our president, there was a time where that would have never happened. Mocking the president, letting the president know we want all the smoke, right? Not giving a damn about what the president is talking about. I'm telling y'all something now. The country is falling. It's falling. And unfortunately, a lot of people voted this nonsense in, thinking their racial ideologies were going to be handled, were going to be solved. There was a Bill Cooper. I think I've said this before. There was a video about Bill Cooper. I think it might have been. There are a few. Not just Bill Cooper. There are a lot of people who talk about this, but there's a documentary on Rumble, and I remember seeing it maybe 6 months ago, and I spoke to the person who reposted it. I saw this documentary many years ago, and Behold a Pale Horse, when I was reading the book, following Bill Cooper, listening to some of his YouTube stuff, which I'm sure that was from like his old radio days or whatever. They would he would warn people against Alex Jones. And one of the reasons why is because the argument was that Alex Jones is simply, what are they saying? Alex Jones was COINTELPRO, right? So the thing about these new truthers and this truth movement that everybody decided they wanted to, join paths on the right side of, politics or whatever. A lot of those folks were paid to how can I say it, to lure a certain demographic in, right? Including your conspiracy theory people, your right wingers, your conservatives, your everybody in one pot. The goal was to mislead and lead all the sheep to whatever they be leading the sheep to the slaughterhouse. There you go. That was why these people were hired. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, all of these folks are part of this little COINTEL nonsense, to make it seem like they're telling you the truth and that they're giving you the truth, but they're not. And everybody fell for it. Everybody fell for it. Everybody fell for it. I can't say that enough. How many people fell for it? Sheesh, I be trying not to speed, but goddamn, I'm trying to get around these cars. Just taking their sweet old time. Whew. Did it. Mission accomplished. So there were a lot of warning signs that I guess I have had. Oh, Lord Jesus, this person here, man. There were a lot of warning signs that I have had to not, really, that made me not want to vote for this president. After seeing a lot of the things that have taken place, I personally am glad I did not fall for the okie doke and vote. I'm glad that I did not allow other people to control me. Go. Stupid. I ain't got time for dumb drivers, man. You want to be a dumb driver, be a dumb driver. I'ma go. All right, so y'all, that's all I gotta say on the matter. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.